You can usually tell when it's a bigger one. Right on cue. Evening everybody, it's time for the night bite. So, a couple of things. On the good side, we know what worked this morning. On the tougher side, we have a little less time tonight. Also, the conditions are different. The wind has picked up a little bit, but if you saw the video in the morning, that seemed to kind of help at times when that wind picked up. We're gonna get out there and give it our best. Let's go fishing. Evening everybody, we are back at Favorite Lake. A little bit different conditions. The wind is still in the same direction though. I mentioned in my opening that the drawback is that we have a little less time to fish, but the good part is we already know a few things that have been working. So I've got my last Power Stinger neon shad on. We'll see how long that lasts. I found an old thunder cricket. We're going to do our best to catch some bass. I think we'll have some protection over on a favorite shore. So until then, I'm going to throw this thunder cricket around. I think it's funny, I already see somebody back trolling. How many people fish for walleyes on this lake? And I think I did pretty good this morning without trying for them. There's a fish. We got a bass. Neon shad does it again. Something about that color. Little guy, but the skunk is out of the evening boat. It's kind of what it's been like on Favorite Lake. Sorting through some smaller ones to get to some bigger ones. If we find an area that has some active fish, we're going to wear that spot out. It's a bass, it's a bigger one. That's not a bass. Alright, we're getting our bonus fish early. We don't want him to wreck our electric shed if he hasn't already. Alright. Northern. Right where you're supposed to be. We did okay with our electric shad. Our last one. I just saw a flash of them for a second and I thought, ooh, that's a bass, it's a big one. A little medium northern. Creep ahead until we get to our spot where we caught our buzzbait bass. That was one thing I wanted to do before I left this morning, was fish this area with a chatterbait. But I thought I'll be back tonight. Oh, there was a... Call it a bite and a half. Throw it back down that line and see. Maybe there's a couple. Didn't feel any snags, so. It's always disappointing when you miss a bite. You can usually tell when it's a bigger one. Right on cue. What do we got? Oh my goodness. You're kidding me. I can't explain what's happening. Let's get a measurement on this guy. Nah, those sneaky little walleyes. All right, had to take a little picture to send my buddy Chad. Well, I tried to measure that walleye and I didn't do it in the safety of moving it how I should, but that is unbelievable. In the last couple of trips I've had out here, that's my 5th walleye over 20 inches on a black and blue chatterbait. I can kind of see why they're hanging out here. There's just schools of minnows or something. Just kind of big bait clouds. There we go. I'm not even gonna guess what this is. Hey, look at that. It's one of those target species. All right. See if we're in an active area. It is kind of a thing this time of the summer. Fish are pretty fat and happy. Yesterday I was fishing a kind of a reservoir, and man, there's got a lot of small bass, but they were all just roly-poly. Time to move to another spot. First spot northern and a small bass. Second spot walleye and a small bass. We're on some fish, but not the right ones yet. Let's see if these pads have a little more aggressive fish in them tonight. I don't know about the reeds and lily pads. With all the bait fish I'm seeing out a little further, there might be a few in here. We'll give it a shot, but it might be out a little bit. All right, hey, camera's on. It's always strange when you've been talking to yourself for about 10 minutes. Nothing to report though. Working on our chatterbait bite, but heading back in here. Just feel like we're gonna find a productive spot just like we did earlier today. Still seeing tons of bait fish. There's a bass. I don't know, they might be just off of where they usually are. There you go. Our electric shed is holding together. There we go. Wow. Almost pulled the rod out of my hand. What do we got here? Ugh. 1.56 pounds. Let's get him back. That's 2 fish in a relatively short amount of time. On Favorite Lake, you're only 1 cast away from a monster. There we go. Not sure about the hook set. But I'm sure about this one. Alright, you gonna get yourself off? Let me get a shot. There we go. We are back at Frenzy Island, straight ahead. We are hopefully at the vacation spot for some big bass. As we found in the morning session this morning, I was like, man, if it could just, there could just be a little bit of wind. Well, there we go. The fish are saying, welcome back. Little guy, but a start. It's always nice when your first cast catches a fish. Lake is kind of famous for this. You get to a spot and right away you're greeted with a fish. We'll definitely go in and throw a few right around the reeds in there. Hopefully it'll be to fill out our limit. I have a feeling if they're here, they're gonna really be here. There's a fish. All right. All right, we're gonna have to estimate. That's 2 pounds. There we go. You are kidding me. Where did you see this one? That is a monster. Oh my goodness. Look at that walleye. .23 3/4 walleye. Woo! Not getting the bass, but getting the walleyes. I guess the challenge within the challenge, a limit of 20" or better walleye. Check. All right, that 24" walleye was worth the trip over here. So we're gonna head back this way. Maybe we can pick up a couple on the way in. Definitely had some action out here. Got a couple of walleyes tonight, a couple of northerns, a few bass to the boat, but they're all small. I hope you're getting out fishing. I appreciate you watching this video. Thanks so much, and I'll see you on the next one. Oh, he looked like a monster. That's okay. 1.71. All right. Well, gave it a valiant try. Had a little comeback at the end. Even on favorite lake, the bass can be tough.